Welcome back, you master planewalkers, to another exciting day of Let's Playing Aidyn Chronicles. I am Chezni, your humble host to things long forgotten. And today we are going to be picking up right in the heart of Shamsuk's tower. Figuring out exactly just what secrets lie in this land of wonder, enchantment, and oddly disturbing statues. There's a treasure chest here. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. Last we left off, we had finally, a Helm of Charisma, finally made our way into the Tower of the Necromancer himself and found a, well, what I could only describe as perhaps a personal side, like a human side to him, as we found the room that supposedly we think belongs to his daughter. Helm of Charisma. You get 2 in Diplomat and the Charming spell. Now that seems interesting. What is on Rita's head these days? Does she have anything important up there? She has... oh, she has a Helm of Defense as well. What's on Neezen's head? Kendall's hat? +1 protection. We give him the Helm of Charisma. Yeah, Neezen's a charming fellow. I mean, not really, but who else are we going to give it to? Gotta figure out what that charming spell is. Now, let's take a look at this statue. Is this statue so... oh, okay, I lost control of the camera. Apparently, they really want you to look at that. That's... what is this a statue of? Is this the same woman in the portrait? I don't know. It's hard to say. It's also possible, now this is something we hadn't considered, but it's also possible that that is a portrait of... no, what am I thinking? It's probably a portrait of Shamsuk's wife. This whole time I thought it was his daughter, but like, no, surely it's his wife. Because his wife was killed by Mago, and this whole... oh my goodness. Shamsuk became a necromancer so that he could try to bring his wife back, I bet. After she was killed by Mago. That has to be it. Looks like we have some kind of goofy demon pictures plastered along the side of the wall. Some of them are upside down. What was that? That was a noise. I don't know what caused that. Probably aliens. Yeah, okay, so this... yeah, because she just looked too old to be Shamsuk's daughter. So this is probably Shamsuk's wife. I know I just keep saying that, but that's because it's a revelation to me. You guys were all probably not even thinking that. You were like, Chezni, what on earth? Okay, we're gonna come back to that room. There's some funky things going on in this place. Oh, we have another statue. That one looks like Shamsuk himself, right? Shamsuk depicted himself as kind of an old wizardly fellow in that portrait, assuming again that the portrait is Shamsuk. It really bothers me that we can't read anything in these bookshelves. I'm running around hitting the A button, there's nothing. Oh, and a treasure chest next to this statue as well. Find Brecklor's fire staff? What? Skill... it's a pole skill. Low strength, high base hit, damage of 3. 20 spell battery, access to dragon flames, and a resistance of 50 on fire. That is going straight into Rita's hands. Definitely. That's finally going to give Rita a magical weapon that will allow her to be a part of a lot of these fights that she otherwise just had to kind of stand around and look onwards. Okay, where's the staff? Oh wait, there it is. Okay, Brecklor's fire staff, 55 and 3, compared to her trusty, what was it, a pike? 50 and 3. She was, or was it the spear? It was either the pike or the spear. Yeah, so 5 more to hit. Plus, I'm assuming that's a magical weapon. I mean, it has so much magic stuff tacked onto it. Plus now she can cast Dragon Flames. So everyone has an elemental spell now. That's pretty cool. Giving her access to a school of magic she otherwise couldn't use. Oh, looks like this is another entrance into this wacky room. And apparently the white got too close, so we're going to have to fight it. Now let's take a look at this staff. That's a funky looking staff. Looks like the end of it is just on fire at all times. Yeah, I think that's generally supposed to be the aesthetic that we're to take away from that. Alright, let's test this thing out. Okay, well, she hit it. She hit a white, head on. And 10 damage might not seem like a lot, but those whites have a lot of damage resistance. Yeah, Brenda's only doing 16 here. Okay, so we have a cast of Frozen Doom right off the bat. Luckily there's a resistance on that. We should maybe cast first Elemental? Maybe? Or we just beat everyone up. Does Alaron even have Verse Elemental? I mean, he has it, but is it any good? No. It's hot garbage. We could try out Haste. I feel like it's only level 5 though, right? I feel like it's too low to be of any use. Although, throwing our turn away on enemies that are going to resist... Okay, there we get at least one hit. Bad roll. I don't know why, Neeson cracks me up when he runs. He just looks like a normal guy. He's just a guy in some jeans running around. So there's about a squizillion, well, 8 skeleton reinforcements, or skeletons potentially part of this fight. I guess we are gonna just cast Haste. And what else is Alaron gonna do here? Wait, no, I don't want to cast Haste on the enemy. What? What? Okay, yeah, I want to... Why isn't it letting us... It's being really goofy. Hold on. Something is, something funky is happening here. Haste! Cast! Why can't we cast Haste? Guys, I don't know what's going on here. Is Haste busted? I think Haste is busted. I don't think it works. Alright, hang on. Let's take a look at the spell. Maybe there's a catch to it. Okay. All targets within range of this spell have their movement rate increased by 2 per rank. Rank 4 wizarding spell. We're definitely rank 4. Costs a spice. I know we have spice. But just to confirm it, yeah, we have 75 spice. Alright, so cast Haste. It just won't let us do it. There's no other way to describe it. We just can't cast Haste. It's a busted spell. That's really too bad. We put all those points into it. I wonder if it really is just a spell that does not work. Oh, Frozen Doom on Rita. Alright, so that's one party member down. Neeson is actually taking a bit of a beating here. A little concerning. I suppose the white is at half health? Okay, the double turn on Brenna is a welcome thing. What else can Alaron do? Does he have anything cool? Can we do something fancy and melt Rita's ice? We have Dispel. What Dispels do we have? Dispel Elemental. Alright, it's a very low Dispel Elemental, but maybe this will work. Wait, did that actually work? No! Of course not. That would be too cool. What the heck is the point of the Dispel Elemental spell? Alright, what? I thought Neeson had a Wall of Bones wand. Alright, let's, can we Wall of Bones the white? That would be kind of hilarious. No. That would be too easy. Alright, meanwhile, Brenna will just keep stabbing him over and over. Apparently this archer, or sorry, this skeleton is a skeleton archer. Have we ran into one of those yet? I don't think we have. Gosh, that annoys me. Why is there a Dispel Elemental spell if it doesn't Dispel Elemental? What's the point? What other elemental spells would need dispelled? Haste is busted? Dispel Elemental does nothing? Come on, Aidyn, you're letting me down. Don't tell me you're a game that isn't perfect. Don't lie to me, Aidyn. You told me you were perfect. Oh well. We're probably gonna be fine. Man, that's so sad. We could have had Rita launch fireballs at these incoming skeletons with her new fancy staff. Instead, she just gets immediately fridged. She's literally fridged in ice. Oh well. Another time, I suppose. Jeez, 83 on the backstab. It's so funny how Brenna starts off the game as your biggest liability and then very quickly, in general, becomes a backstabbing powerhouse. Of course, I suppose it's not really unique to her. I mean, anyone with those stats, well, there you go, like, anyone with stats and the ability to wield a good weapon will deal a lot of damage when attacking someone from behind. So I don't know, if we were just building a party that just wanted to kill things, is Wizarding's probably still worth it just for the AoE. But like, what utility does a wizard really bring? Early on, Air Shield and Strength are pretty decent. But you quickly don't really need them after a while. You know, I felt bad the first time I went through this, well, pretty much every time I went through this, and turned everyone into warriors, but I can kind of see why. You reach a point where your skills aren't really giving you anything else, that you might as well give people warrior and thief. Because what else are you going to do with them? At the end of the day, you just need to deal numbers. You need to make numbers appear above your enemies' heads, right? It doesn't matter how you do it, just as long as those numbers appear. 20,000 EXP, quite a bit. Man, I cannot believe haste doesn't work. I really hope that that was just a bug unique to that battle, because I'm gonna be so sad if we can't haste our guys. Also, apparently it said haste only increases movement points, which I thought it increased to dex. I must have been wrong about that. Haste, all targets of this spell have their movement rate increased by 2. I would assume that that represents the circle that your characters can walk around in. Okay, but let's keep looking at some of these. Wow, we have just relatively normal kitchens, sans the skulls that are on the table. Oh, and the hand that is holding the pots. I like that. That's a good touch. Giant, massive slabs of meat. Good grief, they look like rib cages. Yeah, apparently this is just Shamsuk's kitchen. I mean, I guess everyone's got to eat. What is this, a storage room? Huh, yeah, just a storage room, I suppose. Can't seem to interact with anything. Oh, what? Something was walking. Oh, yes, of course. You just shove your plague zombies in the broom closet. It's a decent place to put them. But yeah, I think... Okay, so ages ago, right? Ages ago, when we started playing this, I said I was finally gonna give magic a try in this game. See if it was any good, see what I was missing out. I mean, after all, it's called Aidyn, the making of the first mage, or the first... I can't quite remember the exact title. Mage is in the title, right? You'd assume that magic is important to the game, so I was excited to see kind of where a magic-based party would lead us. And it has, I think, marginally been more powerful than a strength-based party. If only for the fact that we can end a lot of these fights quicker than we would otherwise. Let's give our Dragon Flame staff a run here. Oh gosh. I wonder if she casts it at level 1. That's so sad. But ultimately, what we're seeing here seems to be the biggest weakness of a magic-based party, which is just the resistance of enemies just seems to be so high. And I'm not saying that I want, like, every single one of my spells to work. It's just that when you're fighting, you know, when you're using melee, typically you sneak behind someone and you just backstab them. And unless they're a very heavily armored unit, or unless your weapon is garbage or something, you're typically going to hit the enemy and deal some damage. But with spells, a lot of the times, it seems really, like, really random isn't the right word. The damage on spells seems to fluctuate quite a lot. It's very variable. Like, sometimes we're dealing 30, 40 damage per cast, other times we're dealing 8, other times we're not dealing anything because they're all resisting like this. I can't really make heads or tails of it. Look, that zombie isn't even facing us, so I don't think facing has anything to do with whether or not you hit your target with a spell. And without a way to lower your opponent's willpower, which apparently we figured out that Wraith Touch does, but none of us know Wraith Touch. I don't even know if it's a spell you can get in the game. There are certain spells that your characters can't get. Like, we can get a Wand of Tap Stamina, but we can't get the Tap Stamina spell. And certain things like that. Like, we can't get Spirit Shield. We can only get Air Shield. Is it even worth it to cast? Let's see if haste works in this fight. No, haste is just a non-working spell. That's amazing. But yeah, I don't know. Just with the spells almost just seem kind of unfinished. With the way that there's all of these dispel spells that don't seem to do anything. Like, when would you... Okay, dispel naming would make sense, right? Because naming spells typically are status effect spells. Unless I completely don't understand what dispel naming does. Does it... I mean, I would assume it just dispels the status effects of a naming spell, such as exhaustion or even something like endurance that was cast on an ally. I would assume Frozen Doom is an elemental spell. Do we have... Frozen Doom might be another one that we can't get. Alaron doesn't have it, and he's the one we typically give all the spells to. Wait, could we Wall of Bones these guys? Oh boy, our Wall of Bones spell is really low. Probably just better off throwing this Dragon Fang. Oh, Brenda's kind of low. So is Neeson. We're not doing a terribly good job of focus firing these zombies. I've kind of just been attacking whichever one I see. But yeah, against weaker enemies, I feel like the spells have their place. Certainly. It's very nice to be able to walk into a group of rats or bats or skeletons or anything that doesn't seem to have naturally high resistance and just immediately sweep the battlefield of them. I mean, that feels good. But I think the problem just is that does that just mean that spells are a thing that when you're winning, it lets you win more, or what? Do we have to conclude that spells are just kind of, like many other things in Aidyn Chronicles, just kind of busted? Sort of a half-finished idea of what they were intended to be? It seems clear now that haste just isn't going to work. I know I keep harping on that, but it seems to be the best example we have to look at right now of kind of the inefficacy, am I using that word right? The inefficacy of these spells in general. I think we have Lay on Hands, don't we? Can try and Lay on Hands Neeson. The verse spells seem to make a certain amount of sense, just because, assuming of course that they actually do something, because we can't really see under the hood of Aidyn Chronicles. I don't know, maybe the verse spells don't do anything, but assuming that the verse spells actually do what we think they do, then upping your resistance to a certain school of magic is a useful ability. If a bit bland, but still useful. But all the different damaging elemental spells seem kind of pointless, especially wind. There really doesn't seem to be much of a point to lightning. Earth Smite seems pretty bad. And it just kind of makes you think, like, the only time one or the other would be useful is if you just happen to find it before the other. Like, if you happen to find Earth Smite before you found Lightning, then maybe Earth Smite would be worth investing into. Or not Lightning, but like Fireball or Dragon Flame. But otherwise, probably not. And it seems like they wanted the wind spell to dispel things, because that's why you can cast it on your allies. But to my knowledge, there's just nothing it can dispel. I don't know why we almost died like several times to those plague zombies. I really should have paid better attention. Alright, so why was there... Wait, there were plague zombies in what appears to be an outhouse. I would have to imagine. Are we to assume that there were just 4 zombies sitting on the cannon here, and we just stumbled upon them? You got me. I don't know what to think about that one. But okay, so we've got an outhouse, kitchen. We had the feasting hall that we started out in. So this is more like the living quarters section of the tower. Oops. No need to go back in there. Now, in front of this statue, we found the Helm of Charisma. And in front of what we can only assume is Shamsuk's statue, we found Beklor's staff. I don't think it means... I don't think there's some huge, deep meaning behind it. But I do think that it's at least indicative of perhaps, you know, Shamsuk's perception of the great beauty of his wife, therefore, you know, placing this magical artifact that deals with charisma next to her statue, and then himself considering, or rather he considers himself to be a scholar or knowledgeable in one way or the other, which is why he places Becklor's flame staff next to his own statue. It's kind of funny, assuming that that statue is Shamsuk, he looks so much kinder than I imagine him to be. I imagined him to be far younger and ambitious and angry and violent. And that statue makes him just kind of look like a kind old man. Apparently these giant skeletons are also resistant to spells. So I suppose we'll just have to fight them head on again. We'll have Neeson try a fireball. Nope. Well, that's disappointing. Oh, we got a successful one. 35. Alright, well, as long as we hit 2, that's probably worth it. I'm a little worried to throw Brenna up here. She's kind of injured from the last fight. She'll steal some of the stamina back. I guess we'll just go for it. I'll try Dragon Flame, see if that's any better. I'm just having no luck here. Probably, in hindsight, should have had Alaron cast Air Shield. Good thing these guys don't hit very hard. Would actually be in trouble. Alright, well, if they're going to be resistant to magic, we'll just, again, have to run over and beat them to death. This is kind of upsetting. Like, you spend all of this time investing experience points and levels into these spells, and then they turn around and don't seem to do much for you. In certain battles, of course. Perhaps this is a scenario where Air Shield is actually worth having around. I suppose a good combat system shouldn't let you just nuke everything, requiring a more utilitarian approach to your mages. Which, let's be honest, I'm more of the school of mages exist to blow things up, which of course is not the best mindset to have. There's a lot of games that punish that kind of thinking. Dragon Age was one of them I found to do so. Simply due to the fact that if you just nuked everything, suddenly all the aggro was on your mage. Which made things difficult. Apparently you can cast Fireball on yourself. Makes a certain amount of sense. Yeah, it just seems that the smaller skeletons are simply more susceptible to magic in general, whereas the larger ones are more immune. Of course, I say that, and we still only had a 50% success rate with Neeson there. Assuming that it is all just willpower, right? Your opponent's willpower stat dictating whether or not they are struck by a spell, then would it simply be indicative that these monsters have a high willpower stat. Gosh, that's so bad. I think that's adding to the difficulty of knowing how to approach spellcasting, is the muddled nature of understanding how things hit, what your chances of hitting are. If there was some kind of HUD that clearly showed us that, you know, we had a very low chance to hit, at least we would understand. But I'm sitting here going, is it nighttime outside? Are we receiving some kind of odd penalty due to being in Shamsuk's tower? You know, are skeletons themselves specifically resistant to fire? Probably not, but these are all things I think. There's a lot of doors here. Guess we'll just wait. How did we pick the one door we already went in? Let's try this camo one. Ah, there's a wyvern in here. Could we sneak by? No. Oh, it would help if I held the right button for sneaking. That is a lot of wyverns. If memory serves, wyverns are resistant to spells in general, so we're just gonna open up with the stabbing. So from all these creatures we're finding in here, it would seem that Shamsuk plays host to a wide variety of magical and undead denizens in his tower. The undead ones make sense. Perhaps he keeps the magical ones around for his own entertainment. Like in typical 80s villain fashion, when the villain has a castle and inside are like chained up dragons for no reason other than to look intimidating. Certainly, though, no threat, considering we, as I've said many times along this adventure, been fighting these creatures since the beginning of the game. You can you can definitely see, though, right? Like, sort of how the longer you play this game, the more it falls apart. And yet somehow still manages to keep trucking. It's kind of impressive how it's like, first you see the paint go, and then the hubcaps fall off, and then the air conditioning stops working, and then the windows get stuck halfway rolled down, and it just keeps going and going and going, but the transmission is still running. The engine is, you know, a couple of the cylinders are looking shaky, but the engine is still running, technically. The car is still moving. The wheels are still providing a form of locomotion. The game continues. It never comes to a halting stop. But boy, does our ride look different from when we started. As we begin to see the holes and the men behind the curtains and everything else that portrays perhaps something that was meant to be more but is not. Okay, what room do we have here? This room definitely appears to be less finished than the others. Yeah, I don't know what this is supposed to be. Is this are these beds? I have to think that they're beds. For what purpose, I don't know. Perhaps Shamsuk's guests? Oh my goodness, another... Why does he have scorpions in his chambers? What is going on here? Alright. You know, I'm willing to entertain the idea of zombies. I'm even willing to entertain the idea of Dracoverns and Wyverns. But why does the man have scorpions? Oh my gosh, Alaron doesn't have enough stamina. Alrighty. Did he just see them crawling around and thought, yeah, I'll just keep those scorpions in here? Did they crawl through the walls? Are they not supposed to be here? What's going on? There's something silly afoot. I guess we'll just sit around and heal while we wait for the others to show up. But yeah, okay, so like situations like this, the spells are great, right? Like I bet even Brenna can take out some of these guys. Okay, just kidding. Lightning has and shall forever just be awful. No matter what we do with it. Okay, to be fair, let's see if Dragon Flames fares any better. It being a similar thing. No, okay, Dragon Flames really isn't any better. No, it's just the Fireball deals a lot more damage, it seems. It's just more annoying to aim. Yeah, there we go. Back up to the 50s. Oh my goodness. Where are... Oh, there's two more. Okay. Oh, these seem like big ones. Alright, Alaron, your turn to use Fireball. But yeah, okay, like... This isn't the only game to do this, but I feel like this is the only game to do this for this reason. And I know I just keep talking about it, but gosh darn it, we've been playing this game for like 50 hours to get to this point. Oh, that skeleton just fell off the world. Anyway, we've been playing this game for 50 hours to get to this point. I'm going to overanalyze all of this. It truly seems, due partly just to the busted nature of spells in general, that the only spells you want... Let's take a quick look here. I hate to say it, Rita's naming magic is pretty much awful. Endurance and weakness have their place. Well, then again, we have Brilliance. Maybe we should be trying to use Brilliance. We could cast Brilliance to increase our intelligence, and then try to cast... Okay, never mind. All right, we're gonna. Why are there more scorpions? All right, anyway, we're gonna keep experimenting on this. I feel like it's probably too early for me to make a wide-ranging judgment on magic in general. Let's keep trying. There has to be something we're missing, right? Similar to the way that we enhance the party's strength with Alaron's strength spell when we need to use physical attacks, perhaps we should focus more on using Rita's ability to enhance everyone's stats through Brilliance, and then see what numbers we're getting on our spell damage. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. Really wish we had something that lowered willpower, but I think that's how my mind works, right? I never think about... it's not true. It's not that I never think about buffing the teammates, or the party, but I usually think first about debuffing the enemy. So I was so focused on lowering... Oh, it's 20 more damage. The numbers are definitely higher. I mean, this is only one cast. We need to do more experiments to see if it's consistent across the board, but overall the fireball damage was higher there. Now, Brenna was doing a little less than 20 damage with her lightning last time. Let's see if this helps. Oh! Okay. I mean, again, we could have just gotten a lucky roll, but no, I think the Brilliance spell is really doing something there. I think we might be onto something. Let's raise Brilliance up to 10. Stupidity, unfortunately, only affects enemy intelligence. Sense aura. We probably should have been using that to figure out the enemy's stats. What else are we going to do with Rita? Anything? Because if not, we might as well just give her sense aura. Oh my gosh, she's level 9 warrior. I don't think we need the level 10. It's fine. It's a lot of EXP. Alright, let's just crank out sense aura. Alaron can do what here? Darkness. It still just cracks me up that we have darkness at all. Exhaustion seems to be the naming school equivalent of weakness, except that it targets stamina instead of... Interesting. So, actually, that's really frustrating. Necromancy can do the exact same thing that the naming school does here, except they do it with stamina instead of endurance. Oh, I said we couldn't get Spirit Shield, but here we have Spirit Shield. I stand corrected. Maybe we should give Alaron Wall of Bones. Just let him instantly kill things. Sure, why not? Do we have maximum air shield? Where is it? Oh wait, there it is. Yeah, maximum air shield, maximum strength. Alright, we'll just do Wall of Bones now. We'll see if that spell's any worthwhile. Oops, well, we'll look at the other characters later. I don't remember which direction we came in. Oh my goodness, what is this? Why is there... Okay, why is there a Manticore in here? So at this point, are we supposed to assume that these aren't beds so much as nests? Where, like, Shemsuk is just keeping these creatures around, breeding them, perhaps just taming them for his own entertainment, for his experiments, or what have you. So it's going to be super annoying to just have to wait for Rita to put brilliance on everyone in every fight, but if it means that the enemies stop resisting our magic, it's probably still worth it. Alright, Neeson, show us how it's done. Let's see the crazy numbers on this spell. No, not super high. But then again, we don't have a lot of previous experience knowing what the numbers are usually like against manticores. On a monster we fight terribly often. The spell worked. I think that's at least something, right? They didn't all resist. Yeah, and I feel like in general, Brenna is just dealing a lot more with lightning. I feel like we've never had very much... Why did she only cast it on 2 targets? She clearly had the ability to cast it on the other 2. What was that? Things are busted. That was kind of a low. But Dragon Flames has sort of been like lightning. The numbers on it tend to be low until those random occasions where you'll do 80 for some reason. Alright, let's test out... I mean, Alaron and Neezen's stats should be practically identical when it comes to spellcasting. Let's test out Alaron's Fireball. Yeah, still up there at 60. But okay, alright. I digress. It does appear that we should probably be focusing on buffing, at the very least, through the brilliant spell, our party with words. We should be focusing on buffing our int with the brilliant spell, since we are, after all, a magic-based party. To not do so would be to not take full advantage of the tools available to us. It would be like the equivalent of not equipping a better weapon. Can't believe we spent all that EXP on haste. A spell that doesn't work! I legitimately don't know what to do with Neeson these days. Maybe we should just wait. Hold off and, like, teach him a bunch of stuff when we get out of the tower? I don't know. Maybe we'll give him 30 endurance. Because, you know, the man just needs to have 110 HP. Why not? Brenna, what do we do with you? Kind of want to, give her something better than lightning. She just doesn't have access to it yet. If we go back to the school, we might be able to teach her fireball. Oh my gosh, her sword is only 5? I mean, I guess that affects chance to hit. She's almost never had trouble hitting things. Yeah, I think we just give her warrior. And then probably boost her sword up to 10. Of course, I don't know what else I expected. We have the hopping griffins. What's the range on brilliance? Let's test that out. We'll put Alaron all the way over here. See if he's still in range when Rita casts it. Let's not hit Neeson with our spell as well. That would be good. Ah, we're getting a resist. So if things carry over as before, after we cast Brilliance, we'll go from dealing about 40 damage to dealing about 60. And Brenna will go from dealing about 20 damage to dealing about 40. And the difference between 20 and 40 is just huge. For obvious reasons, it's about 100% increase, whereas the difference between 40 and 60 is a 50% increase in damage. Not to mention the fact that the higher chance of them not being able to resist the spell is almost in and of itself the best boon of all, because what makes casting spells so frustrating is partly just the time it takes when the enemy is resisting. Just sitting there watching them go resist, it's boring. But also, the lack of consistency makes it hard to gauge an effective means for concluding the combat. Conclusioning the combat, guys. Here on Let's Play Aidyn Chronicles, we conclusioning all the time. Yeah, she's only dealing about 30 now, but still. Yeah, down to 20. But all 3 were successes. Again, an HUD that just showed us the difference between chance of success to hit would be so welcome. But those kinds of things don't really start appearing in games until, gosh. Well, I guess it just depends on the game, but I'd say modern day gaming, you have a much higher chance of getting that kind of information as opposed to the older games. Turns out that people enjoy knowing the rules of the game when they're expected to play it. And stat interaction is nothing more or less than rule interaction. Rita's... It's nice to see Rita doing a lot more damage now that she's got that staff. Even though the damage didn't change, did it? No, these are human bunk beds! These are not nests! Okay, seriously. There is nothing about this screams, yes, these are beds for griffins. Although I would still argue they still could be. And perhaps the ladders are just there for the servants to come and clean the griffin nests. No, these are still griffin nests, I think. They're just too weird. I think that's supposed to be like hay and leaves or something. See, these are just the nesting chambers of Shamsuk's random creatures that are everywhere, apparently, including harpies. But yeah, okay, I'm confirming it. They aren't bunk beds. They are nests. These are just the nesting grounds of Shamsuk's magical things. And we're going in here and just slaughtering all of them. Which, to be fair, we probably wouldn't if they weren't hostile. If they left us alone, I doubt we'd be so eager to try to murder them all, but we don't have much of a choice here. Harpy fails to cast, probably because Harpy doesn't have any stamina. But yeah, killing everything like this is a lot more convenient when it works. I'm so bothered that all those skeletons were so resistant to it. Like I said, Brenna was dealing about 10. Let's monitor how much she deals on the next cast after being brilliantified. Everyone watching is probably just like, wow, it took you this long to figure out that raising your int in a spell-based party is good. I'm sorry. I certainly am not the sharpest tool in the crayon box. Okay, Alaron, you gotta work with me here, buddy. You gotta give us something. Oh, whoops. Didn't mean to pass Neezen's turn. So with the increased intelligence, do you think Dragon Flames has a better chance of... well, could just be coincidence, but perhaps Rita's Brilliance spell does interact with her staff-based Dragon Flame spell. She might still be casting it at level 1, though. But I don't know enough about Dragon Flame at level 1 to be able to gauge that. And as soon as Brenna's turn rolls around, we'll be able to see if the numbers increase drastically when we do this. Even going from 10 to 20 would be a pretty big difference. 10 to 15. Still, though, they are higher. Wow, that one was a lot higher. 24. 8. That's strange. At the very least, I don't think it can hurt if we boost our int like this. And one moment. Alright, sorry about that. Had to throw supper in the oven. let's continue to take a look here at what we have. Okay, so this seems, the way this is set up is there seems to be this main hallway, and then each of these branching rooms is a room that contains some other kind of magical creature, or even scorpions, apparently. I'm fully intending, or not intending, but expecting to come into these other rooms on the other side of the hallway and find more magical creatures. However, that's not the case. It seems to be that Shamsuk has his very own forge and several weapons crafted here. Is he perhaps supplying his monsters? Or even getting ready to raise an army? Now there's this weird... I don't even know what that is. Some kind of bone? This was a door handle earlier. Oh, and we've just discovered a secret door. Oh, and a golem. Whoa, would you look at all this? Yeah, unfortunately, we'll have to fight the golem before we can gain the prize of seeing what interesting things lie in this room. Spaced out there, sorry. Guess we'll just go in and stab these. Luckily, there's just the two, so it shouldn't be too bad. Oh, Alaron needs healed. We won't even bother with Brilliance this time. I think this fight will be over before it really is relevant. Does Rita have any thief stat? She might benefit from it. Just from the backstab bonus alone. Alright. Let's get everyone back up to full health since apparently we're low. So what is all this? Some kind of lab. Oh dear. Oh my. What is going on over here? We have a man's torso along with heaven knows what other body parts next to it. Some kind of strange percolating machine with a dropper over here that you could probably put a flask in front of to collect something. What? What is that? What? Is that a tiny No, camera, don't... Is that a tiny person? Okay, if I'd have to describe that, I'd say that's the head of a bird with the torso of a man. No, camera, we're way more interested in the thing on the... Okay, yeah. The head of a bird, the torso of a man, and the feet of some kind of dragon creature? There's also something stuck into this thing, as if it was either pumping blood into him or taking blood out. Shamsuk, if I had to guess, this is some kind of experiment Shamsuk was doing to create some kind of monster hybrid. Can we interact with any of this? No. Flask over here, boiling away. Can't interact with this weird, dead magical creature. I can't quite see what's in that open compartment. Oh, there's a pouch here with a very dangerous trap. Revival? What? Okay, this is super cool. Because I'm going to come out and say I almost guarantee that this revival, Wand of Revival does nothing. That would be my guess. It's probably like the haste spell. It's probably busted. Yeah, it doesn't even say what it does. Oh, it gives us the spell Cheat Death. Okay, maybe it doesn't do anything. Anyway, I think that cements it, guys. I think Shamsuk became a necromancer to learn how to raise his wife back from the dead. The Wand of Revival and his obsession with dead things. I mean, this whole tower is just filled with bones and animals and things and... What is this? No, it's the torso of that... Is that supposed to be a human? It's just so small. Wait a minute, but it's got wings. Oh my gosh, is that a dryad? I don't know. Is this the body of a dryad? The size would make sense, wouldn't it? Spooky. Anyway, I think we're justified in that canon. So Shamsuk is pursuing these mad necromancy arts in the hopes of bringing his wife back from the dead. Have we been here before? I don't think we have. I'm so lost. Oh, wait, we've been here. Well, that's because it's the room we just came out of. Brilliant. Let's try this door. This door apparently leads to a place we've already been. Oh, it leads here. Where we have gotten into another fight with wraiths. This time, though, Rita can participate in this, which is nice. Now, Alaron is the stat buffing guy, because there's not a whole lot he can do in this fight that's useful. We could try to cast Brilliance and then go for a spell-based approach, but I don't think it's worth it. I think these guys are super spell resistant even before we cast Brilliance. I don't think it'd be that, although maybe for the sake of experimentation we should give it a try. I mean, Rita's not a powerhouse. One turn of casting Brilliance isn't going to throw this fight off. These poor Wraiths, though, I don't think they're going to be able to do anything except stand around, try and cast Wraith Touch, and then fail. We'll test it out with Alaron. We'll have, we'll see if he can do anything useful. What does Cheat Death even do? Does it bring you back from the dead if you die, or does it let you live, survive a killing blow with only 1 HP remaining or something? I would assume that's what that does. I don't really feel like testing it out. Especially on the off chance that it just doesn't work. Oh, the cats are sneezing. Reach out and touch someone with your Wraith Touch. I don't even know what that means. The one-liners have been weak tonight, guys. Alright, might as well just try Fireball. Nope. Kind of to be expected, especially because the field is dark, which means that Alaron is fighting. Oh! We got a successful cast. Alright. Well, I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, with the field being dark, we're fighting against a solar aspect negative status to begin with. So in general, it's probably just better to pass Alaron's turn by throwing something and then moving on. Nice. Welcome to the party, Rita. A flame staff really levels out the strength of the... Wait, did that wraith flee? I'm confused. What happened there? The fight just ended. That was super strange. Apparently Neeson has a decently high thrown skill. Oh well. Well, I think that's where we're going to end for today, still wandering around the maze that is Shamsuk's Tower. When we come back, we'll continue looking for... Oh, gosh. Just kidding, we're apparently going to kill these crazy things first. What on earth are they? Okay, a salamander, which makes sense. Unfortunately, with Rita's staff being on fire, I doubt she'll be able to hit these things. What is this guy and why can't I target him? Oh, I can. A fire elemental. Okay, that makes sense. We've seen water elementals at this point. And 2 flame salamanders. I'm kind of concerned that they'll start blasting the party with magic, so let's see if we can end this fairly quickly. Like those hellhounds that were hitting us all with dragon flame. That was pretty rough. Yeah, I doubt Rita's gonna be able to, hit anyone because of this staff. I don't know what these salamanders are doing. I wonder if Alaron can't hit them. Because it looks like his weapon is on fire. No, he can. Oh, his weapon isn't on fire. Alaron's weapon isn't on fire. Some of the bandits have dragon flames, though, that look like they're on fire. Or dragon fangs, rather. Are the salamanders? Do they count? Yeah. Still the same problem. Okay, but now we can finally conclude the outro. Oh my gosh, a wand of immolation? Okay. Anyway, when we come back, we will be continuing to... I'm gonna stop moving. Continue to piece together the puzzles of Shamsuk's Tower. Good night, everybody. Have a great evening. See you later.